What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40K. So a couple of days ago, GW has revealed a brand new trailer for their new edition of the Horus Heresy, and it is phenomenal. It's actually what we're seeing here right now. It showcases Valdor, it has Malkador the Sigillite, and it is just a beautiful representation of the actual palace on Terra where the Emperor sits on his golden throne currently. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading from this article to see if there's any new inklings for the lore on Valdor himself. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The entirety of the Imperium knows who Valdor is. He is the shield of the Emperor, the first of the 10,000, the Captain General of the Legio Custodes. He is a paragon of warfare, charged with serving as the Emperor's life ward. Of course, Valdor didn't just get to loaf around, hoping to catch a bullet on behalf of the Emperor. He was far more proactive than that. During the Unification Wars, he commanded armies, spearheading assaults against the worst of the tyrannical warlords on Old Earth. He fought alongside the Thunder Warriors at Malad Sen, and delivered the Priest King to the Emperor's justice. He cast down the rebellion of the once honored Provost Canduire, and more. Despite his fame, we know very little of his early history, for Valdor's infancy and youth is a closely guarded secret. What is undeniable is once within the Emperor's clutches, Valdor was fashioned into a physically perfect specimen, imbued with supernatural strength and grace. You can tell by noticing how the skin around his implants is neither livid nor necrotic. A perfect symbiosis. He stood eye to eye with the Primarchs, their match in strength of arms. Valdor never swaggered or boasted, for he had no wish to be the center of attention. As the Emperor's spear, Valdor was seldom far from the master of mankind, except when on some special duty, and as such served as counselor and confidant. He was unburdened by greed or ambition. Whether it was a quality of his own or something instilled within him, Valdor lived for his duty alone, for the Emperor, and the fulfillment of the Emperor's dream. When the War Master betrayed the Emperor, Valdor's role irrevocably changed. There now was a foe who knew some part of the Emperor's mind and possessed power enough to threaten the Imperium, Terra, and the Emperor. What becomes of Valdor after the fall of the Emperor at the culmination of the Heresy is subject of much conjecture and debate, and the annals of the Imperium are strangely silent. Legends state that he stole away from the Imperial Palace, offering no explanation, never to be seen again. And that is the end of this article. So there is a lot here that we already knew. They're pretty much just reiterating the fact of just how amazing this guy was, how he was the right hand of the Emperor, and how he was on equal footing with that of the Primarchs. Now, towards the end of the video, I will be talking about where I stand on his power scaling. If you have been keeping up with the Pariah and the Penitent novels, there is a third one that should be coming out, and there is a lot of secrecy around the King in Yellow. Rumor has it that this is Valdor. Valdor is secretly building an army of winged space marines inside of a pocket dimension, and it seems that this could change the future of the 40K universe. So the rumor going around is that the deal with Amazon Studios is that there's going to be a new show focusing around the future of 40K, and those things have to come out before the novel does, because the novel will be pushing a new narrative forward. So perhaps we will be seeing more confirmation on whether Valdor is indeed the King in Yellow, or perhaps Valdor will be the one to try to reclaim humanity under his control and the Imperium will try and fight against him. There's a lot of different possibilities here, and as of right now, it's all just theory. But for one, I do want to see what happens with this going forward. But that's a whole video for another time on the theories on the King in Yellow. So for today, let's go ahead and see if Valdor really is one to stand amongst the Primarchs. In the grimdark future of the 30th millennium, the galaxy trembles beneath the weight of an Imperium expanding like wildfire, with the Emperor's great crusade sweeping across the stars. But amidst this unrelenting war, a single question lingers in the minds of those who serve. Who is the single strongest warrior in the galaxy? Clearly, it's the Emperor of mankind himself. he who towers above all with his boundless psychic might and immortal presence. But the better question is, who is the second strongest? Perhaps a Primarch, or perhaps it is none other than Constantine Valdor. He is a warrior with no peer, and he wields the best weaponry that anybody could find in the galaxy to war. Valdor dons the Constantine warplate, which was worked by the same artificers that forged the Emperor's own warplate. This suit of armor is proof against all but the most destructive of attacks and most terrible of weapons. Not only that, but its glorious origin and astonishing workmanship serve to inspire those that fight at his side, urging them to deeds of valor. And his main weapon is the Apollonian spear, which is believed to be crafted by the hand of the Emperor himself, and once wielded by his own hand in battle as far back as the Unification Wars, in which he rose to power on Terra. This spear was then given to Valdor upon his ascension to the mantle of Chief Custodian. Like the signature armament of the Custodian Guard, it incorporates both a power blade and an inbuilt bolter weapon, though in both cases these are of a potency far exceeding that of the Emperor's elite. With these two armaments, Constantine Valdor is indeed a force to be reckoned with. In Master of Mankind, we see exactly just how powerful the Custodes are. Zephon's pale eyes narrowed, his concentration absolute, taking in the ballet of violence unfolding before him. He had seen the warriors of the 10,000 fight before, albeit only in grainy-picked footage. He had heard of the countless unpoetic comparisons describing their uniqueness as the perfect exemplar of a process that became diluted and rushed to mass-produce the legions of Astartes. Yet he had never seen them in battle against Space Marines. The warrior reaved through them, reaved through Zephon's cousins from the rebellious legions, cutting them down, butchering them from the way Zephon himself had massacred his way across both human and alien battlefields. How easy, all of a sudden, to see how Constantine Valdor, the Captain General of the Custodian Guard, was considered an equal of the Primarchs themselves in matters of blade work, when any custodian could be as skilled as this. So within this excerpt, we see that the Custodes fighting against traitors, Space Marines, aka the heretics during the Heresy, we see them taking them apart just as easily as Space Marines do that against the Xenos and humanity. Now throughout all the animations that we've seen, we know just how easy Space Marines can take out humans. For example, look at this from the secret level animation. However, to contradict this, in Alfarius, head of the Hydra, we see a different account of just how powerful these Custodes are. "Who are you?" Valdor says. He was not tense as such, but he was still ready to flow into the attack at a moment's notice. I gave him a half smile. "I am Alfarius." The name meant nothing to him back then, but realization seemed to dawn nonetheless, and he extinguished his blade's disruptor field. "You are one of the Astartes progenitors. No other being of which I am aware could come close to matching me in combat, but they were all lost." Come close to? I filed that away for future reference. We had matched each other utterly. In the few seconds we had been engaged, and Valdor had been wearing powered armor that enhanced his movements and reflexes. Should I ever have a similar suit, I would be intrigued to try the Captain General once more. "Not all were lost," I told him, "not for as long as you have believed, and as I suspect you heard from Malcador, my existence was intended to remain secret, even from you it seems. I am a skilled fighter, and even Valdor did not outmatch me, although that contest was so brief that no particular telling conclusions can be drawn from it. So from these excerpts here, we can deduce that Valdor did indeed fight against Alfarius. Now, the thing about Alfarius, we have to remember, he is a Primarch, but he's a little bit different than the rest. He's smaller, but more agile, and it seems that he also has his counterpart, Omegon, his twin. But perhaps it is two bodies inhabiting a single soul, and as such, maybe Alfarius and Omegon don't have the same capabilities as the other Primarchs because their power is split in half. They are all about working in secrets and treachery, trying to outplan, outmatch their opponents. And here we see that even though Alfarius was unarmored, he was able to go toe-to-toe against Valdor, although for just a few seconds, and they matched each other evenly. However, if Alfarius did have his war plate on him, maybe he can get the best of Valdor at the end. Now, keeping in line with the Primarchs, it is said that Constantine Valdor did indeed spar with a lot of Primarchs, Horus and the Lion, and he would even best them a few times, able to tag them once or twice. However, these are just that, spars. They're training exercises. They're not giving it their 100%. Now, that may mean that perhaps the Primarchs were letting him get, a hit or two to boost up his confidence, actually give them a better training exercise. Now, of course, take this however you guys want to, but at the end of the day, I feel that as strong and as powerful as Constantine Valdor was, he was only the Emperor's right hand. He confided in him, he was, I guess you can say, his best friend, and he could have been the answer to when the Primarchs needed to be dealt with. Because let's remember that the Primarchs and the Space Marines were always meant to be tools, to be used to unify humanity and then discarded. And when the time came, it was that of the Custodes to take them apart systematically. And Valdor is probably the closest custodian we have in terms of power to that of the Primarchs. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you still agree that the Primarchs are stronger than Valdor? Valdor capable to go toe-to-toe with them if he's really trying? Or perhaps he doesn't fall anywhere near that level? Now, we may be able to see exactly just how powerful Valdor has been throughout the entire years as we get to the end of the King in Yellow storyline, which may tie in with the final novelizations of the End and the Death. So with that being said, guys, let me know all your thoughts, your speculations, your theories, and let me know what other topics you want me to cover in the next episodes. So again, this has been The Silent Alchemist. Thank you for watching, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.
Oh, I used to put my